there's been quite a lot of work done on exploring the meanings of music in various ways. But obviously it's not the same as a language, even though musical phrases might be constructed in a kind of linguistic way. Traditionally in music, a literate musician, so-called, is one who reads 5-line lattice notation. That's to say, the music stave in Western art music, basically. And even that, of course, has numerous different literacies associated with it. For example, the difference between tablature, for those who play the guitar, which tells you where to put your fingers, and, say, piano notation, which tells you a whole load of other information. And illiterate musicians are ones who don't read that notation. This is traditional. I don't agree with this, by the way. And they are, of course, in the majority. The majority of the world's musicians don't read 5-line musical notation. Now we hit a problem in the digital age because digital musicians are working directly with sounds. So they don't necessarily read 5-line musical notation. So they're not literate in that sense. So straight away we're dealing with a different kind of literacy. So to be transliterate in musical terms acquires a whole different meaning. And it's partly linked to what many people have referred to as the use of technologies. And of course we're all familiar, or a lot of us are familiar with different kinds of music editing processes, different ways of handling sound. Traditionally, some musicians start with pitch as the first thing they regard as literacy. So if you learn the piano, the first thing you learn is that middle C is above the keyhole on the piano frame, right? So you begin with pitch. Some musicians start from rhythm. If you play in a rock band, you're not too worried about what notes you're playing. Well, some people do, but you're more interested in the beat, right? You start with the beat, and then maybe you get fancy with your harmony and your melody. And some musicians begin with timbre, that's to say the quality of sound itself. So electronic music, for example, is primarily interested in the timbral properties of sound. And so in digital music, it doesn't matter where you start. So straight away we've got a transliteracy here. You can start with pitch, you can start with timbre, you can start with rhythm. And in fact you can read each of those in a different way. So what we're finding is, let's say, for example, that people might think that classical music is highbrow and pop music is lowbrow. What we have now is a kind of middle brow or even a no-brow musician who is emerging, who deals with pitch, deals with harmony, deals with rhythm, deals with timbre, and they just do this because the technology enables that kind of literacy. Okay?